Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Okay, today we are talking men's Olympic hockey, more specifically, Team Canada, as you can see in the background. We're going to talk some men's Olympic hockey, which starts actually today, but Canada's first game is tomorrow. So, for those of you who haven't watched Olympic hockey, in my personal opinion, it's the best hockey in the world. I like it better than the Stanley Cup. It's been a minute since we've had the Olympics that allowed NHL players to play in the tournament. So I'm really excited for this tournament to get underway. And let's talk about it. Let's get right into it, okay? So this tournament has three groups. There's Group A, B, and C. Canada is listed in Group A. I feel that we got the middle group, not the hardest group, not the weakest group, but we do have Czechia in our group. We have the Swiss in our group and France. So it doesn't make us the toughest, but it doesn't make us the easiest. In Group B, that's personally my opinion, the hardest group. You got teams like Finland, Sweden, Slovakia, and unfortunately, the host country, Italy, they're probably going to get spanked. But the other countries are far more ahead of them when it comes to hockey. And then Group C, you have, I feel, is the easiest group, which is the group for the United States. It's going to be a little bit of a cakewalk for them with Germany, Latvia, and Denmark in their group. So, the one thing that I will say about the Olympics with like it being best on best, it's not truly best on best, in my opinion, because Russia is not here. Okay, you have to respect the Russians. They got an awesome team. Like they got awesome forwards. They have probably the best goaltending. If you look at their goaltending in the NHL, it would be better than any club, including the Americans. But they're not here. Okay, so that's basically how that works out. But like I said, I'm looking forward to Olympic men's hockey. So let's get into the fact of we're going to talk about Team Canada. Obviously, we're going to mention a little bit about other teams, but Team Canada, if you look at their roster, they have a lot of returning players from the Four Nations tournament. So there's going to be a lot of chemistry, a lot of cohesion. The roster includes 15 Stanley Cup champions, from Crosby to guys like Sam Bennett, Doughty, Marchand, Reinhart, Binnington, Kemper, McKinnon, Makar, Periaco, Stone, Theodore, Thompson, Taves, and Wilson. That's pretty impressive, okay? Not only that, for Canada has a total of five guys who actually have a chance to join the Triple Gold Medal Club. That's Darcy Kemper, Nathan McKinnon, Brad Marchand, Sam Reinhart, and Mark Stone. So if you don't know what the triple gold club is, that is winning basically one Stanley Cup, one World Championship, and one Olympic gold. It's a small group. So to do that would be pretty impressive for Canada. On another note, the guy that we got up there, Sidney Crosby. Sidney Crosby has a chance to become the first Olympic gold medalist in NHL history to win gold 3 times. Okay? It's been done before twice, but it's never been done 3 times. So something on the line here for Sid the Kid and his legacy, right? He's one of the greatest hockey players in Canadian history. And honestly, it's going to be tough. Like when it's all said and done, Gretzky will still be number 1. There's going to be an argument for Sidney Crosby to be number 2, whether you think it's Mario Lemieux or whoever. But Sid the Kid is going to have a huge argument. So Team Canada, if you look at their forwards, the forwards are very strong. We got the best forwards in the world. You got Crosby. You got McKinnon. You got McDavid. Those could be your first 3-line centers. Sidney Crosby playing on the 3rd line. We're going to talk a little bit about lines in a minute, but that's what they could do. That makes them very deep and very dangerous. I think Canada's going to roll with 4 lines in the tournament because they're just that stacked. If if you wanted to, you could make 2 Canadian teams. I know people were talking about who was snubbed and who didn't make the team. So the roster is extremely, extremely deep. Defense, I feel that Canada has the best defenseman in the world in Makar. But the Americans, let's be honest, they have a very, very strong team when it comes defensively. I don't think the U.S. roster matches the Canadian roster offensively for forwards. But on defense, you know what I mean? And now Hughes is going to play for the Americans who didn't play in Four Nations. That makes a big, big difference. Now, if Canada has a weakness, it's probably goaltending, which used to be our strength when you had guys like Martin Brodeur, Carey Price. You had strong goaltending. It's not like that now. We have Darcy Kemper, we have Jordan Binnington, and Logan Thompson. Now, Logan Thompson is having the best season of the 3, but Binnington has that trust from Four Nations, winning with them. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. I think 2 goalies will play in the round robin. I don't know if all 3 will play, but I think that they're going to start with Binnington, and I think Binnington is the right choice simply because he did win Four Nations. He's been in a pressure moment before. He's won a Stanley Cup. Doesn't mean he's going to finish the tournament as the goaltender for Canada, because we've seen that before where Canada started with 1 goalie and finished with another goalie. So that could happen, but I think Jordan Binnington would be the correct start in their first game against Czechia tomorrow. And then after that, I kind of lean towards Logan Thompson over Kemper, but we'll see what the coaching staff has in mind, right? So when it comes to lines, I know that it was reported out there that Wilson was playing with McDavid and Celebrini, which is pretty interesting because Celebrini and McDavid are extremely, extremely fast. I think Wilson's going to have a hard time keeping up with those guys. But it's a good balance on that line. Then we've heard that Marchand will play with McKinnon and Suzuki. Suzuki will leave his normal center position to play on the wing. And then you have Sidney Crosby playing on the 3rd line. Yes, that sounds absolutely crazy. But you would have to think, what 3rd line in this tournament could match up with Sidney Crosby? And he's got some line mates of Stone and Marner, so they could produce some turnovers, they could win faceoffs, transition game would be strong, and they could put the puck in the net. That would be a pretty crazy 3rd line. And then the 4th line, you could have guys like Hagel, Horvat, and Reinhart. Mind you, these aren't for sure. It's believed, it was reported the first day. The second day was closed to the media, and he said that he kept the lines the same. That's Coach Cooper. So we'll see what happens with the actual lines. Canada's first game will be on Thursday, February 12th at 10:30. That's Eastern Standard Time for those of you who want to watch. It'll probably be broadcasted, I would assume, maybe on CBC, because CBC always does Olympics, but you can always check things like Sportsnet, TSN. I'm not sure. I haven't checked up on that, so just look into that. But yeah, so this tournament, I feel like, is going to be a 2-way race between Canada and America. I don't want to exclude the Swedes, because their defense is very, very strong. Czechia and Slovakia, they're on the outside looking in. Finland, I also feel, is on the outside looking in because they're missing arguably their best player in Barkov, who is recovering from a knee injury. So I do expect to see probably a Canada-USA final, which would be a pretty good matchup. And if you've seen people talking about this on media stations, whether it's ESPN, NHL Network, Sportsnet, TSN, they all say different things. It's pretty mixed on who's going to win. I feel that Canada has a far deeper offensive punch than the Americans. Like, our forwards are far superior to theirs. I feel that the Americans' defense and goaltending is a little stronger than Canada's. But you know what I mean? We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see what happens. That's why we play the games. The thing about the Olympics, too, is it's a 1-game tournament. It's not series. So you run into a hot goaltender. A goaltender can win the championship for you. Don't believe me? Just ask the Czechs and Dominik Hasek who did that, who stood on his head. And it's possible. So I would like to see a Canada-USA final. I think it's exciting to see those countries. Like I said, once again, I wish Russia was in the tournament too. It would be a much more exciting tournament because there's some good players with Ovi and Kuch from Tampa Bay. So, but like I said, I'm thinking Canada-USA final. I think Canada will win the gold. That's my prediction right here. But let's start with tomorrow's game, Canada versus Czechia. I expect Canada to win that game. If I had to give a prediction for a score, which I don't like to do, but I think it'll be about 5-2 for Canada. The Czechs have Pasternak, who could put the puck in the net. It's also uncertain on who's going to be Canada's goaltender. So I think a 5-2 victory is reasonable too. Maybe the Canadians are going to be figuring each other out. Kind of like, you know what I mean? Get used to each other, feel out the other team. The other thing too that you have to mention is the ice size is also smaller. So you got a smaller rink. I don't think it's going to make a big deal, but you never know until you watch the games. So please let me know what you think of the video. Like, comment, subscribe, and let's look forward to some great Olympic hockey. Okay, see you till the next video.